Good afternoon, everyone. Ryan Vaughn here in the Region 8 Storm Center. Looks like the whole end of the world thing didn't pan out for everyone. I wonder what those people are doing in that little town in France that was supposedly the only place that you could survive. Anyways, about a little awkward there today. A lot of chatter about a Christmas snowstorm. And if you've been on Facebook, if you've been on Twitter, we mentioned it a little bit on air the past couple of nights. We've had consistent computer model runs that continue to show this. So we're going to start talking a little bit more about the possibility of snow. You may notice in this video update, you see a lot of stuff down here at the bottom. You see little pink crosshairs there. This is a very raw, behind-the-scenes look at how we make a weather graphic. And the reason I'm showing you this is we can chit-chat about the forecast while we're building this also. So let's dig right in. What you're seeing is the interface of our computer system where we make graphics. This is a video scene, and that's why you can see the video coming from the camera here. But let's click this over to a surface map, which is where we're going to make our graphics. Now, you notice everything is kind of all over the place. I did that on purpose so we can make this. So if you go through time, you can see how everything is not where it should be. Let's talk about the area of low pressure first. Now, for those of you that actually make weather graphics, I do something a little unique. Instead of using a cutout or what we call a flip book for graphics, and people that have worked with this computer system know what I'm talking about, I used just text. And the reason I do that is because it looks a little bit more 3D. It's got a little shimmer from the sun or the light as it goes through, so that's why I use that. Anyways, that's a text layer that I use for low pressure. That's the big question mark right now. Where is this low going to go? You know, a couple of days ago, it kind of looked like it would pass off to our north. That would leave us in the warm part of the storm down here, and we'd stay all rain. Then the data started suggesting that it's going to stay down to our south and then kind of do something like this. That would leave all the precipitation, for the most part, down to the south, and we wouldn't really see these two systems come together. So on Christmas morning, I think that low is going to be down here somewhere in the eastern parts of Texas. Now, cold air will already be in place. This high pressure will be sitting in here, and some colder air will be plunging in here. We'll take the stationary front right there, and that will be a cold front that is going stationary down to our south. And I think that will be kind of right through here is where this is going to be. Now, with that, we also have the cold front. We need to position it also. That will be draped from the area of low pressure down to the south. Now, Christmas morning, I do not think, we'll go back on camera for a minute, I do not think we will start out with much precipitation. We initially thought that maybe we'd be in rain all day long. I think we'll get a little batch of rain come in on Christmas Eve as that front initially comes through, and then also as some of that southerly air ahead of that storm system pushes through also. But when we really start to see the bulk of the precipitation, it'll be when that low pressure is developing down to the south, which we just plotted on that graphic. So back to that map. There we are. There's kind of the position now. Now let's take this little, what we call a rain air mass, that's this thing here, and kind of plot out where the rain is going to be. I think even early on, by the lunch hour, we may have the northwestern parts of the state maybe even changing over to some snow by then. But rain's going to kind of look like this, kind of up through the central part of the states, covering a large part of the south. We'll be seeing some rainfall, and then back into parts of Texas. It'll be kind of like that. So I do think a large part of the area will see rain first. We'll change the snow air mass. That's this area here, and the snow will probably be maybe as far south as the Red River Valley, kind of tapering off as you head off to the north, through maybe some parts of southern Kansas at this point, and like I said, maybe the northwestern parts of the state. You got to kind of be real careful on how you mesh these two together. Now, for those of you that are familiar with this computer program, if you build this in another part of this program, you can actually make those mesh right together. I haven't figured out how to do that using this feature yet, but anyways, for those of you that don't build weather graphics, you're probably not that interested, which is most of you. So that's kind of the setup on Christmas morning. Low pressure, eastern Texas, rain coming in, colder air coming in, upper level low is going to be swinging in. These are surface features here, but there'll be an upper level low that kind of makes us a little colder. So that's where we stand now. Now, of course, everything's going to flip-flop around because I've haven't built the second part of this graphic. So it's not really going to go like this. We're going to rebuild what we think will be on Christmas night. Now, Christmas night, things change up a little bit. So That area of low pressure will be moving down or moving off to the northeast. I think by midnight, that's kind of the position it'll be in, kind of right through here. The stationary front, let's click on it. Right there. There we go. That's kind of the position it will be in, also just kind of through there somewhere. We don't really care about it at this point, so we're not going to get too cutesy on the position of that. Cold front will then be draped through parts of Alabama and down to the south, and high pressure will be, oops, move the whole earth for a second. Let's see. High pressure, oh, let's add another key here. Will be right through here, kind of plunging in that cold air. The air mass, rain air mass. Here's where the rain will be. This will be at midnight. I think the rain will still be through parts of Tennessee. I think it's going to go up through the Virginias and then the Carolinas. This is Christmas night at around midnight, then maybe something like that. Kind of like that's how that will look. And then the snow, it will still be snowing if the data still holds correct, coming through Arkansas and then through the southern parts of Illinois, kind of like that. It's kind of where that would look. So let's back this up, see if everything looks correct on here, kind of like so. Yeah, I'm kind of happy with that graphic. So that's kind of how it would come out if everything went right. Now, as I said, you can move everything around on here. Let me see here. We may kind of lower that down a little bit. We can use an animation on this. As we make this graphic, we can make it zoom in. So we can start out kind of wide here, and then, ooh, don't want to end up there. There we go. Spin this back around. Maybe do something like this, and give it a little 3D look to it. Let's take this all the way to the end. Something like that. How's that look? We'll back it off just a little bit. Yeah, so that's how this graphic will look. So when you watch us tonight, you'll see this graphic. It'll kind of look, once we put this into play mode, it'll kind of go like this. I'm going to tweak it just a little more because those air masses are covering each other up just a little bit. But that's the scenario. Now, as I said, if that low moves farther south, we may be left out of the precipitation. If these two systems don't kind of come together at one time, meaning the cold air and the surface low developing doesn't all come together, then that would shake things up a little bit. But two of the main models that we look at a lot are both kind of showing this scenario. Low moving through eastern Texas, off to our southeast, into Tennessee, and then we get that snow on the back side of it. How much snow are we going to get? Way too early for me to say that. It'd be a pretty good accumulation if that panned out, but a little too early to really pinpoint how much snow would fall. We're going to watch it closely and see how it plays out. But you know, the cool thing about this is a lot of people are not at work on Christmas Day, even the day after Christmas. We don't have to worry about kids being in school the next day, so we're not worried about school closing. So it takes a little bit of stress off us. And Brian McCormick just walked in also. You know, I just said that I wouldn't say any accumulation. This is a behind-the-scenes thing. So, are you ready to say accumulations yet?
I am not ready to say accumulations yet.
Okay,
Brian.
here's the mic. Okay. No.
Not ready yet, guys.
Okay. I said I wasn't either. I showed them how to make a little graphic here, and we're talking about the possibility of snow. But we're just talking about how it takes the stress off that we don't have to worry about kids getting excited about being out of school. We can guarantee school will be out. 26 kids will be out of school.
You still live or die by this forecast, regardless.
Yeah. Boy, you know, with a Christmas forecast and snowfall, a lot of stress, I guess, on that front. But we're going to continue to watch it. We'll continue to give you updates and stick with the Region 8 Storm Team, and we will candidly give you the latest information.